What is better, starting from seed or starting from clone? That is the topic of today's video. Hey, but before we get started, today's video is brought to you by Real Growers Recharge. If you want stronger, healthier plants, if you want bigger roots for better fruits, you gotta check out Real Growers Recharge. It's like an instant compost tea that holds more nutrients at your root zone, breaks those nutrients down, and makes them more plant available, getting more of your nutrients into your plants. Find out more about Recharge over at realgrowers.com. And while you're there, use coupon code Scotty420 to get 20% off your first order. Now let's get back to the show. All right, Hi C, you ready to get into this? Settle some controversy? I don't even know that we will.
Yeah, so let's actually, before we even get into it, I know a lot of growers, and it seems like people have a preference. Some people love starting from clone. Some people love starting from seed. And I very rarely come across someone who doesn't have a preference. What's going on there?
I think it depends what you're growing for, what kind of grower, what kind of consumer you are. For me, I find some amazing cut that somebody has put so much time into developing and then selecting the pheno, and then they bring it to me and go, isn't this amazing? And I say, yes, I want to grow that. And I get what I want. I get delicious, great medicine that works great for me. There's other people that want to be the person that invented that. The person that says, I did this, okay? I took this pack. I went and looked in a catalog, selected the person, the breeder that I wanted it to work with, asked for their specific, pack of seeds, then went and grew them and selected the best one. And so that's my cut. That's Jouf's cut of Guava Gator. That's my buddy Jouf, JR Token with the Cherry Paloma. These guys it does mean something. They put in work, and they really did have something to do with making this strain great.
So we're talking about kind of the end result. If you're going from clone, you know what your end result's going to be.
Yep.
If you're going from seed, you're kind of taking a gamble and hoping you find that unicorn end result.
Yes. Do you know people that like to gamble?
I know a lot of people that like to gamble.
I don't. I don't like to gamble, but my point is I absolutely do, and they do it for the excitement. They do it for the unknown, and that's what you get. We call them the unicorn. The goofy word we call it is a unicorn. But can you find that amazing strain that everyone's going to go, wow, how did he find it? The Mac 1 is a great example. It was just you can only get it through clone. It was just this crazy, super frosty plant that showed up. No, not showed up. Somebody made the seed and grew it. The Capulator, yeah. So it's pretty awesome, man. So that guy he's pretty famous wherever he goes because of the Mac, because of the work that he did.
All right, so to start off, you told me about plant maturity, and this is what really tripped me out about seeds versus clones.
Easy.
Explain that.
A clone is taken from a mature plant, a sexually mature plant, one that's ready to flower up or make seed. That's why you can actually take a clone, cut it, and then put it in your clone dome under 12-12, and it'll bud up. Like as fast as it can make roots, it will start flowering because it's sexually mature.
Okay.
Seeds are not. Seeds, you're having another generation, and it has to go from seed, it has to put its dicot leaves out, those little baby leaves, then it has to grow for a few weeks into a plant, and then then it can reach sexual maturity to where it's able to make flowers. But it can't do that for a few weeks, and it's just a totally different life cycle there.
So it's kind of like starting a plant out as a teenager versus starting a plant out as an infant.
Yes, a teenager. That's right, man. 17 years old, man, ready to go. You know what's really vigorous is a seed or a seedling because it has a taproot. First off, they've got this thing called hybrid vigor when the breeders breed two different strains together from different families, I guess. It's called hybrid vigor. It's this F1 hybrid, and man, does it just gives this
pop.
It's just this new generation, so they go nuts. It also has a taproot. The biggest difference between a seedling and a clone is a seedling, we've all grown a little bean in first grade, has that giant taproot that goes down till it hits the bottom of the container. That's a big deal. That's a huge difference. A clone doesn't have that. A clone, you start getting these roots off of the off the stem, and it's a much different rooting system.
Well, and that brings us to clone domes.
Yeah.
you explained to me the ability to get water. Clones, you have to treat them differently because they don't have that root system.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a plant, the way the seedling is supposed to grow is it's supposed to develop that little taproot and then grab that moisture and those nutrients from the soil. We don't have that when it comes to growing clones, so we have to put them in a clone dome. We have to keep them alive by foliar feeding, like basically spraying the leaves just to keep them hydrated enough until they can have some sort. They've got some survival skills, and they will pop out the the roots from the stalk, I guess, from the bottom of the stem. It's much different.
One last tip that you kind of put me on is expectancy, what you can expect.
Sure.
You told me that there's a big difference between growing from clone and growing from seed.
Yeah, and this is where that unicorn thing, the opposite of it is, do you go and put some seeds in, and the one that looks good takes 12 weeks to flower? You're like, oh, man, I wish I would have known that 12 weeks ago. I wouldn't have invested so much in this. So where if you get a cut, like I see you can get, my buddy Jouf gave me Jouf's cut of Guava Gator, and he goes, hey, this is a 65-day only flower. It's a very upright pattern, so only veg it for this amount of time. You get really good information. It helps a lot. You know what you're getting when you get a clone, or at least for the most part.
You know what you're getting into.
Yes. Now a seed, that's the exciting part. That's the unicorn part, is you don't know what you're getting.
So you don't know what to expect either for planning. Makes it a little bit more difficult to plan out your grow that way.
It's funny you say more difficult. I've been growing for 30 years. I was going to say makes it a little bit more exciting. Makes it a little bit more fun. Don't forget, people used to grow for profit as a business. Now I'm growing so when my friend comes over, when you come over, I can say, God, you come and check this plant out, man. This is 47 days. It's purple. Or it tastes this. It tastes like sour lemons, doesn't it? That's what we're looking for right now. Or at least that's what I'm looking for. So it's about what you're growing for, I think. But what about you? Do you grow from seed? Do you grow from clone? And why? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, share it with another grower you know. And check out the other couple videos YouTube's recommending. I hope you will dig them.